Okay. So what about getting? I mean, I know that was. I sort of want to ask one thing that kind of goes into. What about getting subscribers for your show? Is there a particular way to do it that?
Yeah.
Because if you don't get anyone listening to your show, it doesn't matter if you have it on Ximalaya or Apple or.
So, but there's several
Right.
parts to it. Part one is you guys should all take our China course, and if not, you should watch. You should at least start with Steve's course on how to establish a WeChat presence, especially like a WeChat official account.
Mm,
This is the case if you're already sort of a successful blogger in North America. You might as well repurpose your content and attract the Chinese listeners. The content could
right.
also be in English because it's easier for Chinese people to read than to listen. It's even better to do both. And so that's number one. The second thing is that also goes without saying, to make sure the quality of your show is high. If it's really hard for people to listen to or with very little context, it doesn't help. And another one is consistency. So if you tell your listeners that you're publishing a Wednesday and 8 a.m. every week, just make sure you do it, because even if you skip 1 week, but it's just a complete lack of consistency is when subscribers will not come or will not stick
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
The third thing,
I actually,
go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah.
I actually see a lot of companies make this mistake is they sort of do podcasting and they sort of get into it because they're like, okay, this is a great new way for us to attract more clients and so on and so forth. And then they go and they get fired up and they do a whole bunch of episodes, but they never really think through their strategy or they never think through their, like what exactly is, how often they're going to release it. And then one or two things happen. If you have a huge network and you happen to be in a topic where there's a lot of people that you can talk to, if you're doing interviews, I guess, then you can sort of sustain that. Or sometimes they just kind of fizzle out because they put so much energy in the beginning and they get tired of it. Because if you're creating like 5 or 6 podcasts a month, you got to keep up with 5 or 6 podcasts a month. And that can be a big toll because you sort of do run out of content at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to be very creative about how you do the rest of the episodes. So yeah, I do see that problem. So yeah, I 100% agree on the fact that you should be spacing out and really think about these stuff before you launch any kind of podcast.
For sure. And I would say two more things that are unique to Ximalaya that's not available on iTunes or Google Play is that, and I'm going to explain these things in details in my next course, which is number one, Ximalaya has these amazing promotional opportunities that could come to you for free. When I saw the banner, the landing page that they published, I was thinking this is too good to be true. And no wonder why there's a beta next to it. Maybe this doesn't even work. But turns out if you're a new show and you have been consistently publishing your episodes and your cover art is not crappy, it's somewhat, nice looking and such, they will take a chance on you and they will put your show on their homepage inside a carousel, rotating carousel for a set period of time. And so it's very general. So I applied. So you have something like 3 to 5 chances to apply. So even if they rejected you first, you have another chance to apply for. So I did. When did I do it? I did it about 6 months ago. And within 24 hours, they announced to say my application was approved. And at the very same time, I saw my cover art, I saw my album published on the homepage of the Ximalaya mobile app. Now, not everybody's on the homepage all the time, so don't get too excited because people jump right to their shows and nobody's really
Right.
on the homepage.
Right. But are people actually? That's a good point. Are people using Ximalaya through an app more often, and then do they use sort of the search function to sort of find things better, more?
Everybody's on mobile. Some people are on
Right.
desktop. If I have to guess, in China, it's probably 90% mobile and 10% desktop. So it's very pathetic
Right.
for that. What was your second question?
No, but like if they're on mobile, are they? So one of the ways for people to find it on iTunes is they search, or it gets recommended to them, or it's pushed to them through other channels. But like on Himalaya, are people actively searching? That's probably one of the ways people find shows. That's my question.
Yeah, so people are searching, and the recommendation engine is going at full force within Ximalaya. It does recommend, as you're listening to one episode, let's just say, it's already telling you might also like these completely random shows that they think you will like as well. So it's certainly there. And people do search. What people tend to do is they go to a specific category. So if you like stand-up comedy, as an example we use, or you like to study English, you can go back to the English category within foreign language, and you can search more shows alongside of that.
Okay, I mean that's pretty cool. So it says one of the way to get funny is to have your figure out what the keywords sort of people are searching for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's going to be in Chinese, or can you have English ones as well?
So both, I did try this as well. My show was originally in English. I immediately then added Chinese because I find the English search to really not work as well. I mean, we both came from like digital marketing, so we pretty much know the reason, because the search algorithm doesn't really work the same, English versus Chinese. So the Chinese one definitely works a lot better. So that's a good point. If you're going to launch a show, pay someone or ask Steve or myself to examine your trend.
Well, pay us. Don't ask.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
anyway.
Don't just email us. We're going to get 1,000 emails.